The Charlotte Hornets have been downright horrific as of late, to put it lightly. They have not been good. We've been stuck in mediocrity, 21-61 last year. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We have a new franchise player in Brandon Miller. Steve Clifford has stepped down, and Charles Lee has stepped into the head coaching role, unless he pulls a Kenny Atkinson. And he's coming from a team that just won an NBA championship, so he brings that championship DNA to a team that has never even sniffed the NBA Finals. This is, one of the bigger off seasons in Hornets history because we have a chance to jump into that contention role, and the biggest key is to extend Miles Bridges. He's looking at somewhere in the 4-year, $100 million extension range, and we have the cap space to give him that. Last year, he averaged 21 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 3.3 assists in 37 minutes a game. Now, some people are opposed to this, but he gives you versatility defensively. If we really need to, we can play him at the 3 and move Brandon Miller to the 2, bring in another power forward. But he only shot 35% from 3 this year, which is a bit concerning. His last full season, he shot 33% from 3. So if he continues to improve and he gets up into that 38% range, he could be a legit two-way wing that can really help the Hornets out, and he brings the explosive plays to the squad. Now, the franchise is 21 years old, Brandon Miller out of Alabama. I was upset when we drafted this guy last year, and I will admit I was wrong. Brandon Miller has been everything we could have imagined and more. 17.3 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and 1 steal per game this year for the young rookie, while shooting 44% from the field and 37% from 3 in 32 minutes of action a game. Per 36, if you're keeping up at home, that's 20 minutes a night, 5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. So maybe play him a little bit more. He wasn't as efficient. He did go on a little bit of a tear in the middle of the season. Speaking of another guy that went on a little bit of a tear, Lamelo Ball, only played 22 games. Very, very disappointing. Send him to the best ankle specialist in the world. But last year he averaged 24 points, 8 assists, 6 boards, and 2 steals. And honestly, given the scenarios that he was put in, not the worst stat line in the world. He had an elite 10-game run where he was absolutely on fire, putting up averages of 32 points per game, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds while shooting at 44% from the field on about 11, or from 3, on about 11 attempts per game. That is the flashes that we need to see, the flashes of greatness from LaMelo. But, he's not the only young star in NBA history to have ankle problems. There's been another guy by the name of Steph Curry that plays out west. Maybe you haven't heard of him, maybe you have. But in his 3rd year in the league, he played 26 games. In his 4th year in the league, he bounced back with a decent season, I guess you could say. 23 points, 7 assists, 45% shooting from 3. So we're hoping we see LaMelo get a little bit of the Steph Curry treatment when it comes to coming back from injuries. But he keeps getting distracted off the court. He's running over people's kids. However, that was probably not on LaMelo. That's on the parent. But the Hornets keep shooting themselves in the foot with off-season issues year after year. Somebody needs to step in and take some accountability in that organization. And we've got other guys that have had health issues as well. Mark Williams, our supposed franchise center, has not been able to stay healthy at all. If these 4 guys can stay healthy next year, we have a very solid squad. But the problem is staying healthy. Mark averaged 13 points, 10 boards, a steal and a block per game in 27 minutes a night last year when he was healthy. And he really reminds me of a Derek Lively, except he's taller and longer than Lively. Both coming from Duke, both being lob threats at the rim and good defensive centers. Like I said, he only played 19 games last year, though. And at 22 years old, he shot at 65% from the field. So, Big Mark, please stay healthy next year. I know it's kind of out of your control, but if you and LaMelo stay healthy, we could be looking really, really good. Let's take a break here. Make sure to the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying today's video at any point. As you can see here, a large majority of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if that is you, go ahead and fix that. We're trying to hit 15K sooner rather than later. So if you could help us out with that, it'd be greatly appreciated. And we're trying to hit 200 likes on today's video. With that being said, let's talk about the NBA draft. In the draft, make no mistake about it, I want Dalton Knecht. I think he is a superstar long-term in Charlotte, super NBA ready. He averaged 22 points per game this year at Tennessee. He is a professional scorer. He also averaged 5 rebounds and 2 assists. But I can see the argument if you want to go with a big. Staying on the Knecht topic here, though, he's 6'6", 210 pounds, can jump out of the gym. Don't let the white boy stereotype. The sneaky athleticism right there, right? He will dunk on you if you're not careful. And he shot 40% from 3, 46% from the field, dropped 40 multiple times. I'm all in on Dalton Knecht at 6. If you're not, Oh well, we can agree to disagree. Reed Shepherd would be cool as well. Don't know really how he would fit in though. At 6'3", I think he's more of a point guard at the next level. People are saying Donovan Clingan, but I don't know if he gets past the #1 pick to the Hawks. Other guys here like Reza Shea, Cody Williams, if either one of these guys fall and we take them, would not be mad at all. I think Cody Williams can be like the next Brandon Miller, and then I got Reza Shea as my #1 overall prospect. If we get any of these shooters, wouldn't be too mad. But if you did want to go with a big, I wouldn't say Ron Holland. If you wanted to go with a big, I would like you to trade back and get maybe a Tyler Smith. Is that a crazy take to get Tyler Smith? Stephon Castle would be interesting. I mean, Rob Dillingham, Castle, two of the better point guards. If we do go point guard and move on from LaMelo, I don't see why we would do that. But I like Dalton Knecht. Or maybe we take a big, but I don't see a big falling to us. The bench revamp was much needed this offseason, or this mid-trade deadline season. We traded Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and Terry Rozier, and we freed up so much cap. We bring in Trey Mann. We bring in Grant Williams. Both of these guys were very good scorers for us towards the end of the season. And like I said, we freed up an insane amount of money. We also bring in Micic from OKC. We also Poku, but that was not from the Gordon Hayward trade. Seth Curry comes to the squad. Trey Mann averaged 12 points per game, 5.2 assists, 4.5 rebounds in 31 minutes a game as a Hornet this year. And really, this is the first legit chance he's ever been given at 22 years old. 45% from the field, 36% from three. I think he can be a legit everyday player for us down the line. We will see, though. I think, if you wanted to rock with him at shooting guard, I wouldn't even hate it. He just needs to improve that three-point shooting this offseason. Vasai Micic, pretty solid as well. 11 points per game and 6 assists in 30 games played. But if you would like to trade him, maybe you can get a first-round pick back from a contender. Cody Martin and Nick Richards, both guys that I think were good. I like both their contracts, but maybe we move on from them in the offseason. Wouldn't be shocked to see it either way. Grant Williams averaged 14, 5, and 3 in 30 minutes a game for us this year on 37% shooting from 3, 50% from the field. So that's not bad at all from the 25-year-old, still showing some signs of promise right there. And then you also have the old man, Davis Bertans, who can still shoot it from downtown. He shot at 38% from 3, but he will probably end up getting cut because his contract is not guaranteed and he's owed a pretty penny. Poku averaged 7.5 points and 4.5 boards for us. Don't know if he comes back. And then Nick Richards, potentially the steal of the draft, Nick Smith Jr. He averaged 6 points per game in 15 minutes this year. So pretty solid numbers. And he shot 40% from 3. Very good stuff there. Maybe we can see him fill in that backup 2-guard role down the line, or maybe even the backup 1. Was the #1 overall recruit for a reason in high school. And I think this lineup could be elite. Again, if you wanted to go big, you don't want to see Miles at power forward. I understand that. I just don't really see any good stretch fours that we can get in the draft. Maybe there is. Like I said, if you want to trade back and you pick Tyler Smith late in the teens, early 20s, would not hate that at all. But you better be getting a good return. Now, something that is interesting that I have been seeing is Paul George being mocked to the Hornets to pair up with Brandon Miller, who thinks that Paul George is the GOAT. We'll see if anything actually comes out of that. I don't see a reason why we should do that. It could be interesting, but I don't really like that at all. Y'all let me know your thoughts, though. Let me know what you think about the Hornets down in the comment section below. Make sure to like button and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy today's video at any point. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.